Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. In this series, I go out and find 3 unnerving maps in the add-on section of Garry's Mod in hopes of creeping myself out and capturing the attractive but weird side to Garry's Mod. Even though it is just a sandbox game, I feel as if something darker is attached to it. The feeling of eyes watching me never seems to go away, unless I'm in multiplayer. But why is that? That's a question I ask myself every time I write one of these videos. It's always a thought in the back of my mind when exploring, but it's just a game, so I shrug it off. But that doesn't mean the feeling goes away. Well, that's one of the emotions I attempt to find within a map. Some add-ons are just random sandbox maps, while others purposefully try to be scary, and most of the time it doesn't work out very well. Cliché gameplay, loud and obnoxious audio, and predictable jump scares make it fun to play, but that's the get your blood running sort of scary. Which, yes, it is scary, but there's different kinds of scary. The feeling of absolute silence, or the fear that's produced when one experiences dread, is far different than looking into a mirror and seeing a ghost fly at you at 100 miles per hour. Yeah, it is a little terrifying when least expecting it, but I also enjoy the other aspects that horror has to offer. One of the main issues with most of these horror maps is the overuse of sound effects and jump scares. It makes the map exciting to play, but what about all the less unknown maps that make you feel a sense of anxiety when exploring it by yourself? I think those are the best maps, since the negative feelings that come with it originate from an unexplained source. We can't find what's wrong with it or why the feeling is so strong. We just know that a strange vibe is present and the player can feel it. Most of the time it's rumors talking about sightings or shadow figures being seen, which might lead to a tainted perspective. So I chose some maps that don't have much lore behind them, or at least tried to. All 3 of these maps I have picked for this video reminds me of liminal spaces. Don't know what liminal spaces are? Well, liminal spaces are very hard to describe, and I feel like this has been proven since so many people and other YouTubers have created their own definition of liminal spaces. So I guess the only way to really describe it is by this comment right here. Shout out to Some Guy Studios for making it easy. But in all seriousness, if you want to know what liminal spaces are, I'll show you a clip here and provide links below if you would like to read it for yourselves. Another popular but also slightly narrow definition of liminal space is a place that seems creepy but also familiar. These are the emotions you may feel, but I wouldn't say that this is a true definition of the word. Most people, including I, always fall back on this saying. I like the idea of liminal spaces, but the ability to describe exactly what it is when bringing it up proves difficult to some. Liminal spaces are areas that everyone can relate to because they seem so familiar, even though the locations and the images are seemingly randomized or created online through Photoshop. They still provoke an unsettling feeling in your stomach. I'm still learning about liminal spaces and the idea of liminality, but I highly suggest you search it up after this video. If you watched the liminal space clip from before, or know what liminal spaces are, then keep that idea in mind when you see these maps. I should mention now that this map resembles a level in the back rooms, rather than it looking like a liminal space, even though I just explained a bit of it. Personally, I think it falls under both categories. It has a feeling of liminality along with looking like this map fits smack dab in the back rooms. You can go to YouTube search bar and search the Backrooms level 35 or the Backrooms abandoned parking lot to get a better understanding. The Backrooms is a whole other subject, so instead of explaining what most people know, let's just move on to the first entry. Have you ever been outside late at night when no one is around? You would never think of being outside at this time, or maybe you like going out late, or maybe you're even dreaming. But that's not what's important here. For whatever reason, here you are. In order to get to your car, you must go in an underground parking lot, or maybe it's just one of those ones that have multiple floors. You walk in and see little to no cars, no people, just you in this giant empty space. How would that make you feel? Have you ever found yourself in one of these parking lots late at night? If not, and you're over 18 years old and have one of these lots within walking distance, I suggest you visit one of these places late at night when no one else is with you, just to see how it makes you feel. It's almost a feeling of dread, loneliness, a sense of surrealness, and some almost feel detached from reality. Well, there's a few reasons why I picked these 3 maps for today's video, and it's because they have a sense of loneliness and liminality that drags with you while you explore. As I was doing a quick run through to make sure this map would fit the creepy criteria I usually go for, I actually started to feel a sense of uneasiness. The low and inconsistent humming of generators, the amount and color of lighting, the size and just the complete weirdness of the place. It definitely doesn't have a super strong and unexplained feeling attached to it like Downtown RP has, but whatever feeling this map gives off, I like it. It just feels like there should be more people around, or more signs of human life at least. This map also has some really strange areas that give off the liminal space vibes I was talking about earlier. Hallways, rooms, the giant vast of empty space. This map also has this industrial type of setting in certain areas, and I don't know if it's just me, but to see something like an oil rig or a room filled with a tangled mess of pipes really turns my stomach upside down. There's actually a video I saw recently on YouTube where this YouTuber by the name of Shookey goes through these pictures of industrial liminal spaces and just observes them and takes notes on how they look, what makes them liminal, and sometimes whether the images are even real or not. But this video hit the nail on the head when it comes to describing another strange sensation that I or others feel. So with all that out of the way, let's move on and take a look at this level for ourselves. Just like always, the exploration clips will stay anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes long and will have zero commentary. If you would like to skip this part or wish to not see the full exploration, then please check the description for the timestamp. How did that make you feel? Feeling of being watched or nothing at all? If you can, I suggest trying this map out for yourself. The only way to figure out or learn how you feel when it comes to exploring these areas is to throw yourself into that situation and experience it for yourself. Don't worry, I do it every single time I go to research a map. Just make sure to bring Gord's crowbar with you for protection, and then maybe you'll be safe. Or you can just leave the creepy maps to me. When walking around this map, the feeling of total emptiness and loneliness is a repetitive feeling that you will get just by simply walking around and exploring. There's no monsters or strange shadow figures being spotted and reported. It's just you in this big empty lot with nothing else to do but explore. And that's another reason why I think this game is so amazing. There doesn't need to be any ghosts or weird jump scares to freak you out. All you need to do is walk around downtown RP late at night by yourself, and seemingly out of nowhere, the bright and fun game suddenly becomes weird and uncanny. In one of my last Gmod videos I uploaded, an unknown user commented on my video, and he actually noticed that with every map, I try to find a logical reason behind why the maps were created. Not every map can be explained or understood. It is just a sandbox game after all. People create what they want to create, and users like me will download and explore this stuff. I was just about to start questioning mall parking and what we're doing here in this map. When spawning in the world, you have a chance of spawning at a few different spots. And why is that? Again, it could be my knack of logical questioning, but why would it spawn you in different places? Tons of other maps will spawn you in a dedicated spawn. It won't even change if you leave the game and rejoin. So, why does mall parking go against that? Is there an actual reason, or am I just thinking too much again? Maybe it's just so big that the creator thought it would be easier if you spawned in a different location each time. But why is that? That just might confuse the new players who are attempting to explore or find their friends. So then again, is that the most logical choice? One other thing I would like to mention is the signs that are posted around in the mall. All of them are pretty funny and creative. A friend and I actually explored this map, and at one point we ran around the map laughing at all the billboards that are on the wall. I'll show some now. There was also a hallway that is blocked off by a ladder and a door. Being curious and like any other normal person, I decided to no-clip past these barriers, and around this corner is a white wall with black lettering that is spelled in Russian. I couldn't find out what this says, but if anyone knows, please comment it below. I also didn't dive too deep into this Easter egg. I only searched the surface of the internet, but I'm sure the answer is somewhere out there, and someone definitely knows what it says. Our second entry is a map that I have a love-hate relationship with. I would like to mention the color and the scenery of this map is what really ties this map up in a nice horror bundle. The color of the sky and the ambience reminds me of the Half-Life series, and even those games have its own weird atmosphere. Just looking from far away, this whole building just seems weird, and it gets worse the longer you explore on foot. Some of the buildings have unique ceilings, and a lot of the areas don't make sense at all. Just from these clips playing now, I'm sure you could agree with me. A tower also stands tall and can be seen everywhere on the map, except for when you're inside, of course. One other reason I picked this map is because of the tower and the feeling of anxiety I get when looking up. It has a ladder that goes all the way up to the top, so it's accessible without no-clip. When games have huge structures towering over you, and you're able to explore and get on top of them, To me, it's one of the coolest feelings, and it's what makes a world or a map seem a lot bigger. But this is just my opinion. I'm not really sure if others think of the same stuff I do. I wonder what the idea or motivation behind this map was when the creator was making it. In one of the rooms, there's a TV sitting on a table, and when walking up to it and looking at the screen, we can see that it's a dark room with Dr. Breen sitting in the center on a chair. Another thing you'll notice is that audio will start playing from the TV, and it appears to be Dr. Breen preaching and spewing his horrible propaganda.
Who has acquired an almost messianic reputation in the minds of certain citizens. His figure is synonymous with the darkest urges of instinct, ignorance, and decay. Some of the worst excesses of the Black Mesa incident have been laid directly at his feet. And yet unsophisticated minds continue to imbue him with romantic power, giving him such dangerous poetic labels as the one free man, the opener of the...
When messing around in NoClip, we can see a long and narrow tunnel leading deep underground. When finally getting to the bottom, we can see that we're now in a dingy bunker. There's a small room with some sort of science device with a box in there, and the other room is unfinished. Almost like they stopped building the bunker for some reason. There's one other door, but it doesn't open up. Of course, I no-clipped past it, and it seems to be a strange looking hallway that leads to a single door that's locked. And even no-clipping past it, we can see that nothing is there. That's all I could really find at this moment, so let's go on and explore this map for ourselves. As I stated in the beginning of this video, most of these maps look like the backrooms or liminal spaces, but I also picked these because I or others get weird feelings when exploring maps like these, so sorry if these maps don't seem super scary or really dark like some of the other ones. I clipped around a little bit more to find Dr. Breen's room, and I'm actually surprised I missed it the first time. It was under my feet the whole time, but we can get into this room, and here he sits. We can pick him up with the gravity gun and swing him around if we wanted to, and give him payback for all of the horrible things he's done. Also, when exploring, I found this weird hallway which only proves my theory that this map is supposed to look like a liminal space. There's nothing else I could find on this map, and I highly suggest you explore it. Let's move on to the third entry. Make sure to plug your nose when exploring this area or bring something nice to smell, because for this map we will be going under the earth again, but this time we'll be exploring an underground sewer system. I can't say that this is a phobia that I 100% have. I have seen sewers like this IRL and have looked at pictures of them before, like the ones I am showing right now, and even then, judging by these pictures I'm showing you, how exactly do you feel by it? I know I can't be the only one who thinks sewers like this are creepy, and if you don't, then I think something is wrong with you. Just kidding. But all jokes aside, when exploring this area, I noticed that there's planks laid down on the platforms, and it would basically form a makeshift walkway, as if somebody made this to travel easier. Not only did I find the wooden pathways, but I also found some sort of sleeping area in one of the far ends of the tunnel. There appears to be empty cans of beans and an empty jug of water next to a small bed made of cardboard and what looks like to be a couch cushion as a pillow. The black circle that can be seen on the box is a logo that belongs to a fictional research facility team in a video game called Portal. The research team is called Aperture, and it was a private research facility where the founder, Cave Johnson, conducted several horrible experiments that normal research labs wouldn't do. But since it was privately paid for, they were allowed to basically do anything they wanted. I'm not sure if the circles being present on the boxes means that Aperture Science was involved, but why these markings? I'm sure there's other props in Gmod that creators can use when placing decor props around a map, but why did the creator go out of his or her way to get these exact boxes? Another reason I know it's not a vanilla prop is because Gmod has no Portal items in it unless you download Portal add-ons. So, with that said, are these boxes here for a reason? Are we down here in these sewers as a punishment? Are we the ones hiding from Aperture? Maybe we're the ones living down here. I wonder who set this up and what the backstory behind it all is. Other than that, it's just long and dark tunnels that almost feel like a maze. I'll play the exploration clip now. There's not really too much to this map when it comes to secret locations or Easter eggs. It's just you, all alone in this dark underground sewer system. There is no shadow figures, no jump scares waiting around the corner, and no overuse of sound effects. This is a map definitely worth exploring if you like adventuring maps like I do. I like looking through the add-on section for creepy maps and exploring them in my spare time, almost as if I was an urban explorer searching for abandoned places to film in real life. In the description of the map add-on, the author says this: "This is the first map I made, which is why I ran into a number of problems. I managed to solve some problems, but some did not. One such problem is the content of the map. I managed to cram content into the map itself, however, due to my inexperience, I was unable to delete unused props that I borrowed from another map. Reading this now, I know where those aperture cardboard boxes came from, but I still think it's fun to imagine and come up with theories as to why a map is the way it is. Sometimes the authors just have a vision for their maps and want to have a backstory with it, but some just make strange maps for the sole reason that they can. It's Garry's Mod and anything is possible. That's why I like making these videos. Even though it is just a game and half of what I say sounds serious, I promise you that I am not. You gotta admit, if Gmod was haunted, or all of the lore that surrounds this game was true in some sort of way, then that would be a little freaky, because if the hauntings were to happen, then that means these strange encounters could occur once again, or something even worse could happen over time. That's all I really have to say for now, and I hope you liked this video. Like, comment, and subscribe to show me that you want to see more content like this. Keep an eye out on the channel for a new video. Peace.